The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as hamiltonradio.net, Diamonds FM, and themikewagnershow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's the inventor, CEO, and founder of a fitness company pushing the limits of the fitness industry. He began his career in '98 pursuing acting and later venturing into personal training. We'll find out more about the journey. And he also was named the #1 workout in ClassPass, known worldwide. And this company, and he basically focused on high intensity, low impact, core focus, muscular strength, and cardiovascular methods, and delivering the rapid results, which takes 20 minutes or so. You don't sit in class for an hour, 2 hours, and all that, not even 10 minutes. And why 20 minutes? We'll find out more about that. And also licensed in more than 500 fitness studios worldwide. And how he does it, live, ladies and gentlemen, in Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, the amazing inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, pushing limits of the fitness industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Sebastien Lagree. Sebastien, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, Sebastien. You're inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, pushing limits of the fitness industry. You began a career in '98 pursuing acting, later venturing to personal training, and find more about that. And your workout was named the #1 in ClassPass, known worldwide. And you also focus on high intensity, low impact, core focus, muscular strength, and endurance method, delivering rapid results. And the classes are quick in 20 minutes. You're licensed more than 500 fitness studios worldwide, and there's opportunities to take advantage of your wonderful program. Before getting on, Sebastien, tell us how you first got started.
Wow. Well, I always wanted to. It started basically with me wanting to move to LA and become an actor. This is really what happened. When I moved from France to the US, I finished high school here in the US. And then at the end of the senior high school year, there you go. We had an opportunity to go to LA, and there was a grad night, at Disneyland. So I was 17. I go with the other students, and then we spent basically 5 days in LA. We went to Disneyland, went to Universal Studios, Knott's Berry Farm, the usual suspects. And I really fell in love with LA, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to finish my studying, and when I'm done, I'm going to come over here, and then, I'm going to try to make my way as an actor. So sure enough, a few years later, I get my MBA from Seattle University. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stick to the plan. So I sell everything I have, everything everything I couldn't fit in my car, and I just drive down to LA, and get to LA, and oh boy, it's there's a real divide between reality and fantasy. I'm thinking I was very muscular at the time. I used to bodybuild. I had long blonde hair flowing down to my little back, like super,
Oh, like the blonde Fabio back in the day. Yes.
Matter of fact, I got chased down. LAX people thought I was Fabio. So this is why I cut my hair after that. True story. Yeah. Got chased by 4 guys calling me Fabio, and the more I ran away from them, the more I justify, being Fabio. So anyway, so I go there, and after the first 30 days, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be in here for a while. I'm getting into the industry. I'm talking to other actors, kind of find out the reality of my dream, right? And I'm like, I want to make money. That is the most important thing. I don't want to be a struggling actor. A lot of those guys, were like in their mid 40s, 50s. I'm 50 now, and so I was kind of seeing myself just like, oh, fuck, I was 25 at the time. I'm like, man, I don't want to be, 25 years from now. I don't want to be just still like broke and then just going to auditions. And so I'm like, okay, I need a game plan. And, you know, I, I get a lot of messages from wherever, I'm very, I'm very intuitive and I really pick up. And during those first 30 days in LA, I kept getting people. I swear this would never happen to me, Mike, before. But people would literally walk up to me and ask me if I was into personal training, and it just happened.
Really? They ask you
Yeah,
if you're a personal trainer? Oh my
personal
goodness.
trainer. Everywhere I went, I went all the auditions I went to, the producers and casting directors or other people who are auditioning would ask me, "Hey, you're in great shape. Do you personal train?" And at first, I took a lot of offense because I'm like, "No, I'm here for the acting job, right?" But I would get these requests also outside of those auditions, right? But it never happened to me, Mike, before. Never. It never, right? I've always been into bodybuilding. I'm 25, been lifting weights since I'm 13 years old. Never in the span of 30 days, I would get that many requests. I'd say I have a relationship with the divine, if you want to call it this way. I'm a very intuitive person. I listen a lot. I pay attention. And I'm like, all right, I think it's a message. I should be in personal training. I'm just going to just let that go. I'm still not quite ready to give up on my idea of becoming an actor, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to this. And everything should start to kind of fall into place the minute I decided to make that decision. So, I'm like, okay, the next person who asks me if I'm a personal trainer, I'll say yes. And then I'll be my first client. And then I'll have to find a place to train that person. Sure enough, a couple of days go by. I get this guy just approach me in the street. He say, "Hey, you're in great shape, man. You're a personal trainer. Would you train me?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will train you." And
yes, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Come on, drag him on there.
So now I need a place, to take this one dude I have. So I go to all the big gyms. I go to Gold's Gym, I go to Equinox, I go to this place, Sports Club LA, and I get the same answer. No, you can't come here and then train your clients. You got to be certified through us. There's like a whole red tape, and I'm just like, oh, I don't want this. This is like, and plus I had to buy into a certification from everyone, of course, to work there, I have to spend money, I am broke. I need to make money, not spend money, right? I need to take my clients. That's all I'm going to do. So eventually, a friend of mine recommend to go to this one place on Melrose Place called Angel City Gym and say, hey, this is a private training studio. Maybe you should try a private studio. You might have more leverage. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I go to that one studio. And there I met the owner. The owner looks at me and I tell him what I want to do. They have a private weight training room upstairs and then basically a Pilates studio downstairs. And then he's like, well, listen, I think I may have a proposal for you. I'm like, okay. It's like, what about you can take your clients and then train them upstairs in a weight room, and then you train my clients in Pilates. And I'm like, what? What is Pilates? By 1998, Mike, I had my nose into encyclopedia, into research book, fitness book, anything that had to do with building muscle, losing fat, diet. That's all I was fucking reading. All those magazines. I was spending all my time reading about the science of bodybuilding. Okay, so nutrition, rest, recovery. I never heard the word Pilates. Never. I'm like, what is this bullshit? This must be like some kind of LA woke shit, that people do.
Right, yeah. It made me think of it too. It's like, you never heard the word Pilates. And of course, I got the gist of it. But then since you are more familiar with it than many of us, what exactly is Pilates?
So as I come to find out, fast forward, this is in the last 25 years, because now I've had my brush up against the Pilates industry, because a lot of people are really upset with what I've done, to the Pilates method. But I do anything to the Pilates method, right? I made my own method based on some Pilates apparatus, and I'll go there in a second. But Pilates, to give you a quick definition, was created by a German guy, Joseph Pilates. It was not created during the war. During the war, during the First World War, Joseph Pilates was a nurse. And then he noticed that if you kept certain patients active while they were actually recovering from an injury, they actually recover faster. So he really believed that movement healed. So he was a healer, and basically his whole interest was like into healing people. So after the World War, he moved to the U.S. A lot of people say that, you know, during the war, Joseph Pilates was using springs from the mattress, and this is what gave him the idea of making the reformer. That is absolutely not true. This never fucking happened. So, you know, he got the interest, he got the idea of making some kind of a method, but he didn't know what it was. And even when you look at the first design that he designed for the reformer, it has nothing to do with the reformer he used to do this Pilates studio. But his concept, you know, he was doing a lot of yoga, always into gymnastics. So he started to basically create this method that would basically restore your body's natural balance. Joseph believed that circulation was key to fitness. A lot of people age, a lot of people have diseases and things like that because their system is not optimum. Okay, you're not getting enough circulation. So every exercise, so he believed that exercise was the key to bring circulation, to bring the blood, because blood is basically your life. It's your life flow. You can't live without it, you know. So it was to bring the blood into certain muscles, in certain areas, and basically let your body do its best, and it's heal. So Pilates is at the core a healing method, and Pilates is about restoring your body's natural balance. And the way you do this is a few ways, okay? Number one, in addition to posture, because he believed that a bad posture was actually key to aging and other diseases. You know, your posture is part of your central nervous system, right? Your spine is part of your brain. And so having a healthy posture, a good spine, actually optimizes the flow of the central nervous system. So it's actually a good idea to have a good posture. And as we age, we kind of round the shoulders like this, but that's not because of aging. It's because we get too fucking lazy. We don't really work on a posture. So Pilates has a lot of exercise aimed at the posture. Everything that you do always is around the posture, the alignment of the spine. The second thing in Pilates is about also core strengthening. Okay, you need to have a strong core. And then the other elements are to basically strengthen the smaller muscles that support the bigger muscles and stretch the bigger muscles. So it's really the opposite of what fitness is, because in fitness, every fitness program you have today all strengthen the big muscles and they pay zero attention to the small muscles. And that's actually a problem, you know, in a lot of fitness modalities, you know, out there. But that was the original aim. You know, I read the two books. He had a book called Contrology, another book called Return to Life. I got very interested into what Joseph was actually trying to do. But he died, I think, in the late 60s. And basically, he died before he saw the success of his own method. Because what people don't realize is Joseph Pilates, just like Jack LaLanne, were basically the grandfather of modern physical fitness, the two of them together. It's just that, unfortunately, for the two of them, and Jack LaLanne, of course, saw the success because he lived older. But basically, during that time, during Joseph's time and Jack LaLanne's time, doctors are telling people not to work out. They're telling people to smoke. Smoke.
I remember that, like those cigarette ads. They want you to sit back like this and relax and everything.
That's right.
Like that. And of course, causes posture like this to get really whacked out.
Exactly. So back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, you have billboard and doctors telling people not to work out. They're saying that workout is actually bad for you, but to smoke. And smoking is good because it relieves stress. Of course, in the 1950s, people started to get cancer right and left, and then they finally had to adjust the messages. So back in the 1960s, they finally stopped the message that, you know, smoking was good. But it didn't do much good for Jack LaLanne and Joseph Pilates, because they both really opened. So Joseph Pilates opened his first fitness studio in the late 20s in New York. And then Jack LaLanne was named the first gym operator in 1936 when he opened his studio, I think, in Northern California, in Palo Alto. I had the pleasure of interviewing his wife, Elaine LaLanne, who was a fucking firecracker, because I did a documentary on the future of fitness, and I interviewed a lot of people because for me, the history of fitness and fitness together is something that is, I don't know, it's something that's fascinating. Much of what we know today as fitness is very recent, you know. So in the 1920s and 1930s, you know, Joseph has this idea that, fitness is key to health, and so is Jack LaLanne, but they both have a hard time to just kind of, convince the masses and then show people, because they were really pioneers of their time. Even the word fitness was not coined until after the movie Pumping Iron came out. So Pumping Iron.
What was the movie again?
Pumping Iron. This is
Pumping Iron. That's okay.
This is what made Arnold famous, and that also is what kicks off. So when the movie comes out in the 70s, that really kicks off for me. That's the dates. That's the time that kicks off fitness. The fitness started to do this, and then when that movie came out, then you started to have a bunch of different terms for fitness. But I use a lot of bodybuilding training techniques. Time under tension is one, isometric, isokinetics, all that stuff, right? These words are completely absent in the Pilates protocol. Why? Because it didn't exist. So when Joseph Pilates created his method, it was not about creating a tight ass or the perfect body or tight abs or looking all jacked up. These words didn't apply. It was never about this. It was never about a superficial workout that is going to make your body just like a Greek god, right? Mm-hmm. It was about longevity and health. That's what Pilates is about, right? So the problem today is that a lot of the Pilates studios are no longer teaching Pilates. So I'm going to come back to my story now. So that's the Pilates. So back then, 25 years ago, I'm basically, I'm starting to teach Pilates for this one guy. And then the one thing I immediately, notice is that the clients that he's feeding me, these women, after working out with me, they would go to the gym and work out. So for me, I don't like that. And I just ask them, I say, hey, I noticed that when we talk and when we do the Pilates session, that you tell me you're going to the gym after that, you're going to go for running or whatever, or work out if you're a personal trainer. But why doing Pilates? And they all told me the same thing. Oh, it's not challenging. I'm not sweating. I don't feel my heart rate is up. And it is true, because Pilates was never meant to this. And right now, I'm telling you, you're going to have a whole bunch of listeners, a bunch of watchers watching this and get, oh, like, that's not true. When I take my Pilates class, I shake and I sweat. I'm like, honey, Pilates has changed in the last 25 years. I'm the one who completely changed how Pilates is taught today. So now in the Pilates industry, there's talk about a Pilates 2.0, modern Pilates, high intensity Pilates, progressive Pilates. All of these words is another way of saying, hey, we're kind of abandoning the original concept of Pilates, and we're doing what Sebastien is doing. I had this woman call me a couple of years ago, and she was really mad because, like, Sebastien, I cannot find a Pilates studios in LA now who teaches Pilates. They all teach a version of your workout. And I'm like, listen, I gave the people what they wanted. Okay. So these women that was trained 25 years ago, they were not getting any results, and everybody wants to do Pilates because they think it's going to give them that celebrity's body. But I train celebrities. I'm going to tell you what gives a celebrity, it's her body or his body. It's the entourage. They have a chef, they have a running coach, they have a yoga trainer.
Oh my gosh. So this kind of branches out in a way.
They have a whole staff around how they look. It's not Pilates who give them that body, but people just don't fucking realize this stuff, that you are the product of your lifestyle, first of all, right? So a lot of celebrities, we say they got fit on Lagree. I love you guys, but the reality is not just Lagree. It's the way you eat. It's the way you think. It's all the other things that you're doing, the supplement, all of this stuff is going to make you look the way you look today. So, I'll take the credit, but I always tell people, Lagree is only a small part in that, right? So, So these women did Pilates. They thought they were going to get these results. They didn't. So I go in there, and then basically I went back to the guy who hired me, Ivan, and I say, Ivan, I think I can make these women happy. I think I'm gonna, if with your permission, with your approval, I'm gonna change the method. I'm gonna do like a circuit training workout on the method using the knowledge I have of bodybuilding, and then we'll see if they like it. And then Ivan tells me, Sebastien, as long as these women come back over here and they're happy and they keep spending money, I don't care what you teach. So that was it. And that was the birth of the Lagree method. And then I started to basically use this equipment. And I gave them a workout that would make them shiver. They're making the workout sweat. I transformed the body very quickly. within 30 days of teaching this method, I was already on TV. I was selling my program already on TV. It just took off, just like a California wildfire. And then, of course, I went with it. And then I love fitness. I mean, there's a few subjects that I'm very passionate about. Fitness is, for me, it's very important because fitness is a path to spirituality, So, and I told you I have a divine connection. For me, spirituality is very important. My connection to God is very important, right? And so I feel that fitness is a path to spirituality, and that's kind of where I'm moving. I'm transitioning now out of the physical fitness, and I'm trying to get people more interested into the mental, the psychological, intellectual, emotional, and of course, spiritual benefits of fitness. Because really, fitness is really the best part. The way to connect to you, if you really want to be really present in yourself, it's when your heart rate is up, it's when you sweat, it's when you're out of breath. It's only when you're out of breath you realize that you're alive. Only when you sweat, right? So that's I kind of fast forward the last 25 years. There's been a lot going on, but I could think about how I got here and then talk about it for 3 fucking days, because my whole life, Mike, is being up and down. I mean, it's like every week is like an episode of Entourage. It's just up and down every day. This upturn. I cannot tell you, but I always land on my feet. There's always shit happening on a magnitude you will not believe, but I always make it through. Always, for the past 25 years. I got a guy who support me upstairs.
You got it. That's right. And certainly indeed. And how do people take advantage of the Lagree Fitness System? We'll find out just one minute with the multi-talented Sebastien Lagree. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and our 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also Apple Music, Audible. Subscribe to us on BitChute, Rumble, YouTube as well. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and more. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. You're here, the amazing inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, pushing limits of the fitness industry, Sebastien Lagree, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And a great idea of how fitness got started, the Pilates method, and the whole fitness industry. And not only people can get involved with fitness, especially a program, they can also take advantage of wonderful opportunities like, purchasing equipment, franchises, everything. And basically your program is licensed by more than 500 fitness studios worldwide and growing.
Yes, thank you.
And of course, people can also take advantage as well too. There's a growing demand for it, and also your licensing success, and basically that how it differs. Like people can buy your stuff, and marketing and everything like that. And of course, now the only thing, it's like they're part of a company.
Yes. Yeah, no, we have a virtual platform called lagreeod.com. And if you buy the machines, you can actually subscribe to the platform. It's $9.90 a month, and then you can have access to there's over 2,000 classes, exercises, tutorial, and I basically explain people how to use their equipment.
And certainly as well too that you also have been doing for quite some time, and what makes your equipment distinguished from the others? You guys got about over 100 patents on this thing.
Oh my God, yes, I have now 180 patents.
It's now 180. It's growing. Oh my God! It's like I had 97. Then it's 100. Now it's 180. By the time this is out, it's gonna be about 200, 300. What we say is gonna be obsolete.
Actually, you know what, Mike? It's a lot like that. Probably by now, I might have 183, 184 patents. I cannot help myself. I'm very curious and I'm very creative. I'm also dyslexic. And I think the dyslexia has helped me a lot actually with creating a business, because I don't think like most people. I have a tendency to do everything backward. So if I was going to build a house, I would probably build a house with a roof first. You know what I mean? So I do
I wouldn't
everything
be surprised.
backward.
I'm a creative type myself. It's perfectly okay nowadays.
Yeah. I'm going to be unorthodox the way I do things, but it actually has worked out for me. Strangely, I've like I said, I've got myself in a lot of troubles, and I've get myself out because I have a very unique way of thinking. But I love to create, and especially in a field of fitness. Usually people come out with a product, and then they market it, and then they buy the celebrities endorsement, and then they basically try to shove it down the throat of everyone and try to sell millions of those. And me, I'm not like that. Once a product is out, I'm already working on a second generation, and when that machine is out, I'm always working on the next best product. I never stop. That's where I put my money. I don't really get celebrity testimonials and things like that, because we get them anyway, and we get them for free. So I don't need to pay for this. We have a lot of people who love to get involved with the brand. So for me, I feel like my contribution and the value of the license is really in the fact that I'm able to evolve the method. So now we are already in Lagree 2.0. I was mentioning earlier about this connection to the divine, and for me, fitness is a path to spirituality. Well, now I'm focusing more on the mental benefits, of fitness, because I also believe that the timing is actually right. It feels like the world is changing very quickly, and probably is changing faster than we're able to actually adapt to it, or we don't really have. We feel like we don't have that much time to just kind of consider everything that's going on right now. And so I feel that fitness is a great outlet, to release some anxiety, to release stress, to kind of settle back in your body, and then just trying to be clear and present. Okay, what is going on? So you can make good decisions, right? So I feel like more than ever right now, fitness is important as we are transitioning to this next world. Whatever is going on in the world right now, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. So fitness is a way to stay sane in those difficult times. So now I'm focusing. So I created, basically, I have a Lagree 2.0 now. So we have Lagree 1.0 and I have Lagree 2.0. Lagree 2.0 is more muscular endurance based. It's also more mental endurance based. So we keep you longer in the movement, and we try to really bring out the mind and the body together, in the exercise, try to make you more present, and then it's been taking off really well. And now I'm already working on Lagree 3.0, which is going to integrate a lot more of that spirituality that we're thinking about it. Because, when you think about it, I was in the Amazon just about a month ago, and I went and did some ayahuasca, and I did three ceremony. And the ayahuasca is all about releasing, but you're releasing through basically you're making yourself purge. So you either vomit or you purge through the other end, right? But there's got to be some kind of a purge, some kind of a release. But when you start to think about it, sweating is a release, shaking is a release, right? So fitness, you also have other ways to actually release, and to let go of some of this negative energy that kind of finds its way inside your body, right? So you can do it, in fitness. So now I'm a lot more interested in bringing those elements, because what I ultimately want to do is really, a mind, body, spirit workout. And then I've realized that for me, probably the reason I'm doing this workout, or the reason that I was probably called to do this, is that fitness is a way to uplift yourself, both on a physical level, but also on the mental and spiritual level. And I feel like, today I really want to help people regain the faith that they have lost. I feel there's a lot of people lost today. And like I said, it could be a crazy world for a lot of people out there. Doesn't make any sense. But fitness is probably a way to level up and also to regain that faith that you may have lost in yourself, because when you can't trust yourself anymore, you're doubting yourself all the time. I mean, it's very simple. To give you a quick example, when you have to do a quick calculation, let's say you have to add 11 plus 14. I mean, do it in your head, or you actually use your your calculator. And most people
or
use
saying Espanol cabeza.
Yeah, cabeza, yes.
Cabeza.
But a lot of people, Mike, a lot of people don't use the cabeza anymore. A lot of people, people go online and they're looking for the information because people are they're doubting themselves, they're not trusting themselves, so they're looking for the answer instead of trying to think about the answer, and that is a very bad path to go on. You got to use this brain. You got to think. You got to come up with your answer. And I certainly see it, on Facebook and Instagram when people are just like posting comments, and some of the comments you're reading are just like, oh my God, where are we going as a species?
In fact, I have my 60th birthday over the weekend. And I'm still reading these obnoxious comments from other posts and everything else. It's mind blowing, I'll tell you.
Yes, So I'm choosing the tool of fitness to help people restore the faith that they have lost in themselves, because I really believe that there's if people are more self-aware, but they have a higher self-esteem and self-worth, all of a sudden your whole life starts to change. You don't want the same lifestyle anymore. You're not going to eat the same food. You're not going to hang out with the same negative people. You're probably going to want a better job because you realize, fuck, I am worth a lot more than what I'm getting paid
exactly.
right now.
I think you're speaking upon a lot of people who are experienced that as well too. And of course, for those who got hurt on the job, like say they played football for the Rams, on Sunday, they blow out their knee, their career is done. Or it's like you're about to throw the winning pass, all of a sudden your shoulder blows out, and you realize that you can't do anything for the rest of your life. Or some get knocked in the head by getting pushed into the goalpost, let's say, or you get knocked to the turf. I saw that one coach in Dallas Cowboys nearly got killed. It's like he fell over, hit his head at Texas State, scary, and have these concussions. And I guess the question is, how can that be overcome? And do you work with part of those, and especially with those who have not exercised in a long time, and maybe a bit of advice about that?
Right. Yes. Well, now we start to work with teams. So I started a whole athletic program, and we have been working with a bunch of athletes, and now we're working with more athletes because I think Lagree is a great training program for them. And I really believe that low impact and anti-inflammatory aspect of the workout is going to give the career longevity. So, if I could help an athlete, have one more year on the field or 2 more years, and especially the later years, because as they get more experience, they're more valuable to the team, right? So if we can help play athletes, to enjoy the game longer, but also to make it safer, because with the Lagree we have an attention to joints and alignment. So if there are ways to maybe just prolong the career, and then also make it and strengthen the joints, try to make it less risky for them on the field, hey, that's fantastic. That would be a great gift to them.
Or ways that tips to avoid injuries, like say torn ACLs, MCLs, concussions, or even like with spinal injuries, and think that's been the most common. Of course, rotator cuffs, especially when it comes to baseball as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that stuff can be prevented with actually the understanding physiology and movement better. Not that those guys don't have the top trainers, but I sometimes feel that the trainers who are training those athletes, sometimes I feel that a lot of them are operating based on information that is now old and outdated. I had a guy who was training. I'm not going to say what it was, but he was training this. He was coaching this women's soccer team. I'm not going to say which one. And he's like, you cannot get cardio with these machines. You can only get cardio by running 20 minutes outside. I'm just like, man,
what?
What? Okay, I may not have a PhD in exercise science. I got a master's in business. Never thought I would go into fitness. All right. but I'm flabbergasted of the comment I get with those guys, because some of these guys have like really high position with those teams. And I'm like, dude, you do not understand fitness, brother. It's just like, you don't understand. Maybe you should get and start to move. And I'm going to tell you, I can get you sweating without this machine. I'll get you sweating on my machine, and you fucking tell me if what you do on my machine is not cardiovascular. So yeah, I'm a very open-minded person, probably too open-minded for I think most people out there. And I would say, I really want to change, this idea of fitness, but also want to reinforce other concepts, and I want to get more people, working out. Right now, we have about 1 out of 7 Americans work out on a regular basis. Can you believe that all these gyms and all this money that is being generated by the fitness industry, all those billions of dollars, all of that come for basically about 15-20% of Americans working out.
Really? Just 15-20%?
Yeah, they're all responsible for all that money being spent at Planet Fitness and Soul Cycle, all this stuff, and the other people are working here and there. So I'm trying to understand why are these 75-80% not working out, and I want to go after those guys. So we talked about a workout that was 20 minutes. Well, guess what? The number one reason I heard, so we would have in France, in Japan, in China, in Australia, in fucking Canada, Canada, Mexico, all these places, France, where all this, always number one excuse, I don't have time. So back in 2016, I designed a workout that was 25 minutes, and I made a machine for it called the Supra. This was the 3rd generation of machine I made, and you could get a great workout in 25 minutes. And that studio just took off like crazy. The reason that we're not continued is because I had to retire the Supra because it was breaking right and left. So we're going to reintroduce it in a couple of years, and I'm going to continue with that 25-minute workout because we literally tap into a whole brand new segment. We literally had brand new people coming and work out at the 25 minutes because a lot of people simply don't have time, or they don't like to work out, so trying to understand the clientele, and instead of doing like what these other fitness companies are doing, try to just like, we're going to lower our price and we're going to tell those guys are bad, but we're good, and we're going to just like, that competition, that the 1980s type of competition, out the door.
Pretty much. Now, now I was just going to say, you also got the
Okay.
competition out there too, like with Peloton and Peloton, Echelon, Nordic Track, and I think you got was it Bowflex in there too? Those are the new ones.
Yeah, I let those guys, do the fitness, the way the thing is done. Obviously, they're not doing that great because right now there's a lot of places in fitness, tanking, and that's because they simply don't understand why people are working out. They miss that fundamental idea and what fitness should be like, So what I'm doing is I want to change the narrative of what fitness is. And I want to show people that fitness is so much more than just, working out at the gym and just having a jacket body. It's great for the mind. It's great for your spirit. And then everyone right now listening to that podcast should be working out. It doesn't have to be my workout, but you should be involved into fitness. Go for a hike, but do it often. Your body needs it. Okay. Any workout, you'll get mental and spiritual benefits.
And there's another question too. People saying that I don't have time. You hear the excuse, it takes 25 minutes. What segment of the day should be done? Morning, afternoon, or evening?
Oh, always morning. I'll tell you what. First of all, morning is the best thing. If you can work out on an empty stomach, because you're going to start to burn off the calories. So you're basically coming off of starvation, right? You starve yourself for 8, 9, 10 hours, right? So this is the perfect time to kick off your metabolism, with a quick workout. You rev up metabolism, your body's going to burn that sugar that is in your system, right? And it's going to start to basically kick off your metabolism that day. So that day you will burn off more calories during the rest of the day because of that earlier workout that you did. So if there's a time that you can only work out, is definitely the morning. But if you're not a morning person and the only time you want to work out is at night, then do it. But science-wise, it's better, it's more effective to do it first thing in the morning.
And especially shift workers and everything else. And that also requires that as soon as you have to get up, go to your shift, first shift, second shift, or even third shift too. That's another one too. And that's why I got the 24 hours as well. And of course, you talk about the 3.0s, but what about 4.0 possibly? We'll find out with the inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, Sebastien Lagree. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Missing. We'll be back with you, Mason Sebastien Lagree, after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back, inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, Sebastien Lagree, here on the Mike Wagner Show, taking fitness a whole new level. You talked about, having a 3.0, but maybe a 4.0? Or is that too far?
Yeah. Oh, definitely a 4.0. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm all about the 0.0. I'll go 5.0, I'll go 6.0. I'll do what Apple is doing. I'll have a Lagree 15.0, No, I will continue to evolve those workouts, as I see a need for it. I'm not gonna, when I change the method and when I change the machine, it's never because I feel like, okay, well, I need to push something to sell. It's never about the sales for me. None of this stuff is about the money or anything is about the sell for me. It's because I'm on a mission and I have something very specific, and I really want to get more people to work out. These new machines that are coming out starting next year with the new Micro X, I got these phenomenal looking machines. I know people are going to want to buy them just to work out on them because they look so freaking cool. So
that's why everybody buys the machines, and yeah, definitely cool.
Well, it's interesting that I'm the only guy who puts that much effort into. I work with BMW. I hired BMW. I hired so many sketch artists who work in the car industry, and then because I love cars, and that's another passion of mine. I love cars. I'm obsessed with automobiles, and so maybe because they're vehicles, and then our body's a vehicle. I don't know, but anyway, so I've worked with a lot of reputable people, and I got some amazing designs. So right now I'm super excited because you're going to start to see the culmination of the last 10 years of research and design and development, and you're going to start seeing those machines coming out. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like this on the marketplace. I mean, it's, and I'm surprised that I'm the only one, releasing this product, because I'm like, what are the other people doing with their time,
And of course, speaking of machines and everything else, what is the most popular best-selling machine right now?
Oh my God, I have 3 machines that are doing very well. One is called the Mega Pro, which just came out a couple of months ago, and it's selling like hotcakes. Another one is the Mini Pro. The Mini Pro is also it's a great. It sells really well because it's got a lot of features, and it costs half of the cost of a big machine like the Mega. And then we have the Micro, and the Micro is doing very well as well because a lot of people. The Micro is a very small machine. It's a compact machine. It's only 50 pounds, so it's very easy for people to open studios with those machines and then get started and then open a license for a very little amount of money, because it can buy basically the Micro for $600, and then you don't even need actually to have a gym for that. You can actually teach classes outside. So people love it because they don't need to have any basically any gym, or they don't need to sign a lease for that. They can operate anywhere they want in whatever capacity they want. So the Micro is doing really well. I have a new Micro Pro coming this year, and I feel like next year will be the year of the Pro. The Micro Pro, the Mini Pro, and the Mega Pro, I think, will just overtake all the sales and all the machines that I think right now.
And where can we find more about your machines and your website? How do people contact you?
Okay, so very simple. You go to, I'm not wearing my t-shirt today.
That's okay.
www.lagreefitness.com. Lagree spelled like I agree with an L. So Lagree, Lagree, and then fitness. And then you can follow us on Instagram. Same thing, Lagree Fitness. You can follow me personally, Sebastienlagree. And then I'm always posting about new stuff that I'm doing.
All right. Well, certainly check that out. And for those who are getting into fitness, we suggest you contact Sebastien right now. He'll get you pumped up. We're here with the amazing multi-talented inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, Sebastien Lagree, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things here. We'd love to have you back on. And what else can we expect from you in 2024 and beyond? Even it's like the 30.0.
Oh, my God. Well, more machines, more studio. You know, we're over at 600 studios now. We're probably going to break. We might be close to 1,000 location by the end of the year. So it's been doing very well. During COVID, we took like a big slap in the face, like everyone else. So business was going down, and then around 2022, it went back up. So right when we got named #1 workout on ClassPass in December of 2019, business was just like literally just skyrocketing. We're hitting that curve, right? Phone was ringing, all the stuff, people opening studios. And then a few months after that, March 2020, boom, COVID. All right, no more studio, no more fitness, everyone closed down, and then it went boom. And then literally in October of 2022 is when business started to go back up online. Last year we had a pretty good year, but now this is like ridiculous. Now we're getting all that momentum, all this energy that was lost during COVID is coming right back up. So right now, it's people are opening right and left, and I'm very happy that that the method is being accepted so well worldwide. You know, I mean, it's opening everywhere. It's just crazy right now. There's like, you know, we started to do different little countries in Africa now, and I'm just like, wow, you're opening in those areas.
or put some in an island too, that they'll get diplomatic attention.
Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. I'm really loving all the success, but definitely more updates on the machines. I also do classes. I do micro events. So like I was doing one a couple of weeks ago in New Orleans. So we brought the micro. We did the rooftop class, and we bring the DJ, all that stuff. So more events like that. And then also this year, the first year we did our own summit in Vegas, and this was a major success. So we're going to do another one. And I'm also partnering, you know, so when I was talking about competition in the 80s, you know, we're better than you guys and you guys suck and we're the best. And we're going to do $19.99. And then if you call now, you're going to get 2 for $9. Fuck that shit. I'm not doing any of that. This is 1980s. And if you're operating this way, you are in the 80s, man. Okay. This is 2020. Okay. Today, you don't fight with your neighbors. Today's about inclusion.
You got it, yeah. And for those who still support Bally's, well, good luck to you.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And so now I'm partnering with VersaClimber and TRX, and we're starting to do more events together. And I'm trying to get more people involved in the low impact industry, low impact fitness industry, because I really see it as a future. You know, it's funny because I've been preaching the benefit of low impact fitness for the past 25 years. And now, in the last 3 years, the word low impact is becoming more and more of a search word. And then I think this year, about 32 or 35% of Americans are looking for low impact alternatives. So good job, America, for finally understanding that your workout should be low impact and also anti-inflammatory. I know, I'm sorry, I keep adding more words, you know, but low impact is great. But if you want to go even better, look for anti-inflammatory fitness, you know, so exercise that don't cause inflammation on your joints, because exercise itself can actually cause inflammation if you don't know what you're doing.
And you think the hashtags on that one, I think you just put out some hashtags out there for some pretty good people. So
Yeah.
using that.
Hashtag that shit.
Hashtag it. There you go. I can see it. The Lagree hashtag or some, or the SHIT or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. And a couple of things aside, Sebastian, who you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, you know what? I would say, I think Arnold, Lou Ferrigno, I interviewed him for my documentary. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, because these are guys. I grew up in a farm in a country in the French countryside. Okay, not in Beverly Hills, not in the U.S. I was in the French countryside. Beautiful though, fantastic. I had a great childhood. But every weekend I'll be, watching VHS tape, Commando and Rocky and Bloodsport and all this stuff. And I grew up, idolizing all these guys. And these guys, really inspired me to go into bodybuilding. And in bodybuilding, I basically find my way. So these guys were definitely an original inspirer, and then they've helped to inspire millions of people, right? I would not be where I am today if not for watching those movies, seeing them all buff, me wanting to emulate them, to be like them, working out, understanding fitness, and now creating my own fitness. And that led me to a whole different direction now. But I would say definitely those guys, it was, I think today when people look at the old movies in the 1980s and they watch Arnold or they watch Sylvester and Stallone, they're so used to it because everybody's jacked today. Every actor today is jacked. Every woman, every guy, all working out, right? There's nothing more special about that, right? But you got to give it to those guys, because they were literally pioneering fitness. In the 60s, bodybuilding was very obscure, and then Arnold brought it to the forefront with pumping iron, and after that, everybody wanted to see an actor with huge biceps and shoulders and all that stuff, right? So kudos to you guys. Kudos to all those guys who helped to inspire.
And of course, there'll be box. So
they'll be back. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And lastly, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, Sebastian?
Believe in yourself. Okay. Look, this is my logo. This is my logo. A guy named Julian Wild shot this when I was 21 years old. And when I saw the picture, so I remember he's like, Sebastian, you got to come to my place at 11 o'clock tonight. We're going to shoot Orion. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm 21 years old, like pretty jacked up, all that stuff, long blonde hair, right? So I showed up to his work and he's putting his branches together on the floor. And I'm like, Julian, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm building your bow. A bow? Yes, you're going to be shooting a bow and an arrow. So he built me this 8 foot, 10 feet long bow, this huge arrow as big as me, right? And then we shot this picture. And then we got done. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Because that's how Julian's like to shoot. It was always super late at night. And so he wakes me up at 7 o'clock in the morning. He's like, I got to see this fucking picture. It's fucking amazing. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, I go back to the studio. I look at the pictures, and it was this guy, right over here with the arrow. And so this became the logo for my business. But right behind it, I don't know if you can see it. There's an inscription. They say there's no limits, and there are no limits except for the one that you create for yourself. There are no limits except for the one that you let other people install in your head. There are no limits except for those one that you really create, and you let occupy your space. These limits are only real in your head, and you have to believe yourself that you can walk past any obstacle. I'm going to say one more thing. My dad was a very successful businessman. He lost all his money now, but he made all his money selling airplanes. And one of his clients was Niki Lauda, the Brazilian, I think it was Brazilian, right? Niki, for the F1. And I remember that he bought many airplanes for my dad. And I remember that he told my dad, and my dad later told me this. He said, in life, you're going to go 200 miles an hour, and you're going to see an obstacle. You're going to see a wall, and you're driving 200 miles an hour. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't try to go around it. Instead, accelerate and just obliterate. Just go right through it. And my dad told me this. I remember I was 14 years old. We were on our way to the airport. I'm listening to music, and my dad just said, "Hey, just take your Walkman." And I'm just like, "What?" And he tells me this stuff. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was just like, my dad would always, pick weird moment and then give me like this live quote like this. And I'm just like, "What are you talking about, Dad? We're not going to turn around. We're stuck in traffic right now. We're like in Paris, the fucking Persian traffic, trying to get to the airport." And it's not until years later that I recognize the significance of that. So I always pass it on to other people. But really, there are no limits, And the minute you really believe this, there are no limits. And then what you can achieve is unimaginable.
Indeed, and I'm going to put that to good use. We encourage everybody to do that. We're the amazing inventor, CEO, and founder of Lagree Fitness, Sebastien Lagree, here on the Mike Wagner Show. Sebastian, very big thank you for your time. Learned a lot. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase, check out your goods, and also classes?
You can check out everything at www.lagreefitness.com. And if you have any email, if you want to email us, you can email us info@lagreefitness.com, or you can DM us on Instagram. So we're easy to find.
All right. And what's the website?
lagreefitness.com.
All right. We'll certainly check that out. Once again, Sebastian, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And Sebastian, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing, and powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms, and of course on the mikewagnershow.com, hamiltonradio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at themikewagnershow.com. Thanks for listening.